Hi guys, Jurassic Junkie here, and Microsoft has caused me a few problems this week. Welcome to the Friday Night Rant. So before I actually get into that, I'm going to start on the tipple this week, and hopefully I can recreate it, because to be fair, I went into a pub, which was the JD Wetherspoons, and I had a drink and I was like, this is gorgeous, I need to go home and actually reproduce it, so fingers crossed I can. And it consists of Jack Daniel's Honey and Monster Energy drink, and when you combine them together, you make a honey monster. Now, how many parts you do for what, I don't know. And also, I've actually got the Absolute Zero Monster Energy drink, because you got what's your figure. So God knows how much what we put in. Well, I've already spilled some on the desk, so that's a good start. A good dose of that. So, is it going to be a honey monster? Yes. Yes it is. That's a lovely little tip with that. I know a lot of people are saying what you've done to that whiskey is completely wrong, but it's good. So, at last we actually have some PlayStation 4 information. Again, these are rumours at the moment, but it's looking quite interesting. First of all, Sony has actually been working on some form of VR virtual reality headset. Now, a few companies like Samsung and everybody like that have all had a stab at trying to do a VR machine. But Sony's actually done one, and the rumour is they're going to be showing it off at the Tokyo Game Show in a few months, and saying it'll actually be working with the PlayStation 4. Now, I actually find this quite interesting, because I love the idea of doing virtual reality. I'm a bit scared, because when I think it comes down to the consoles, I'm worried if it's going to be gimmicky. I love the idea of the Oculus Rift. So what I would prefer to do, instead of seeing Sony creating their own one, I would prefer them not to do it, and I would prefer to see Sony and Microsoft both go with doing an Oculus Rift support. Because one, that'd be great, because if someone's purchased of the PC, they can use it on all the other consoles, which is great because it keeps the price down. But the main reason is it makes it easier for the developers, because obviously when they create a game, they need to build in Oculus Rift support, and once they've done it really on the PC and then it gets ported over to the obviously consoles, if they've got Oculus Rift support, it makes it so much easier to just go, ta-da, it's across everything. But yes, either way, this is going to be quite interesting to see if Sony are going to go down the VR route. Now, the rumour is that it's going to be shown off in a couple of months, but it won't actually show its face until 2014. Now, the other piece of PlayStation 4 news, which has completely angered me, and I'll put out straight away, this is nothing to do against Sony or PlayStation. Now, Sony's actually turned around and said they're in partnership with Virgin Media. Now, here in the UK, our broadband is supplied by Virgin Media. Well, it is in this household anyway. And they've said they've gone in partnership with Virgin, and obviously Virgin are in partnership with Sony. Now, just with that information, I would just probably guess it's just a case that Sony would go, games play better on Virgin, and Virgin would turn around and say, games are better on the PlayStation. So it's kind of just handshake to both of them, all kind of send customers each way. And that I've got no problem with. The issue that I have is the rumour which has come out at the moment. Now again, this is rumour, so just take it with a pinch of salt. But the rumour is, people that have a PlayStation 4 will have access to better internet via Virgin Media. Now, if I was a PlayStation 4 user, I'd be quite happy about this information, obviously. And I'm not angry because I'm actually an Xbox One user, or soon-to-be user. My problem is Virgin Media throttling or unthrottling lines. Now, for instance, I pay for a 100 meg connection, and at best I get 30, some good days I may get 60. And we've done the typical thing, phone up, well, I paid for 100, why am I only going to get 30? And the reply is quite simple, that obviously there may be multiple people or connecting at the same time, you're further away from the exchange, lots of different reasons. So you can't pinpoint and actually say, are you actually throttling us? Because majority of the time they'll just say it's down to just traffic, etc. Now, I've got not much of a problem with that. But the thing is, if I then got a PlayStation 4 and connected it in, and obviously via MAC addresses or some magical technology, they can detect that I've got my PlayStation, and then go, let's give them faster internet, means that they actually are throttling the lines, and then when you've got your PlayStation connected, they're releasing the lines and going, give him all what he's actually paid for, boys. Which is completely illegal. That means you're paying for a product that you're not receiving, and fair enough, that could be due to traffic, but if the traffic magically disappears when the PlayStation 4 is plugged in, it means they have been throttling it. So if this information is true, I will be the first person to go and get a solicitor and sue Virgin Media for throttling my lines. Now, I do believe that they do throttle the line. For instance, when it comes down to them looking at where the mass amount of broadband comes from, they're probably going to go look at YouTube traffic. Majority of people that go on the internet are probably looking at YouTube. And I do feel they probably will throttle YouTube connections, but leave everything slightly open. But the point is they shouldn't be throttling at all, and it's quite hard to prove that they're doing it. But if this rumour is true, that kind of just confirms, yes, they're throttling us, and I'll see you in court. Oh, you beautiful honey monster. So the next thing I want to talk about is some Nintendo, and guess what? It's bad news again. Now this is nothing that Nintendo has actually done for once. This is actually what Bethesda have actually said about them. Peter Hines from Bethesda has actually turned around and says the time for convincing publishers and developers to support the Wii U has now long passed. But he actually goes on to back this up, simply saying that Nintendo kind of just turned around and dropped the console on their desk and says, there is the kit, now work with it. Whereas Microsoft and Sony actually did a lot of work with them. So he goes on to say that actual Microsoft and Sony involved us very early on and talked to folks like Bethesda and Gearbox, and they say, here's what we're doing, here's what we're playing, here's what we think, and how it's going to work. And then they obviously asked for insight to hear what we thought from our tech guys and our experience standpoint. So back at E3 we did see Sony come out and say we've spoke with the developers, because obviously it was a bit of a nightmare on the PlayStation 3, and they said we spoke with the developers, we made sure we made the architecture perfect for you to develop on. Microsoft's been actually working with developers to make sure they're making a console that people want to create for, which I think is great. That's the way you need to do it. If people are going to be making games for your hardware, speak to the actual people that make the games and say, are you liking this hardware, is this good, what can we tweak? Where they've actually turned around and said Nintendo kind of just went anyway, it's done now, make us games please. And obviously that's backfired in their face. So yes, everything I keep reading about the Wii U just makes it worse and worse and worse. But again, I'll hold my hand up, 3DS is awesome. Now, where I was saying then at the start of the video that Microsoft's caused me so many problems this week, they've done something which is amazing, and I'm so glad they did now. In the last week I says Microsoft has been very nice and they're actually going to give us a free game. I was disappointed that the free game was actually FIFA, but at the end of the day it's a free game and I'm not going to complain. But they actually turn around this week and says, we'll tell you what, it's up to you. You can either have FIFA or you can have Forza. And as soon as I read that, I just lost my because I love Forza games. And I've actually obviously pre-ordered Forza, which is around about, what, 45 quid, 50 quid. So to get that free saves me 50 quid. So that information came out last night and I was like, cool, you know, tomorrow I'm going to swap my order, and just didn't think how much in demand that would be. And time I woke up, everywhere sold out, Amazon's gone, Game's gone, Shop2's gone, everything's gone. I was like, oh, no! But at the same time, Joe's now jumped on the bandwagon and said that she's going to be selling her Wii U and she wants to go next gen, so she's looking to buy an Xbox herself. Now, she's obviously got pre-order with FIFA, which she has no intention in playing whatsoever. So the idea of getting Forza actually excites her because that's something she could get to grips with. So she was quite clever last night and actually put pre-order into Amazon and actually snagged one. And her response was she's going to get one from Amazon. And that's when I kind of lost my shit now. Yes, I'm going to take a drink here because this is incredibly petty of me. But the problem was, originally I was ordering my console from Game and Joe decided to go to Shop2, so I cancelled my Game and went to Shop2. Simple reason for it was I didn't know if her console would come before mine or later, and I couldn't afford for her to get hers first. Now, as I said, this is incredibly petty, but the thing is, Joe's seen the launch of the 3DS, she's seen the launch of the Wii U, she's had them launches and got excited, but for me, I've not had a launch that I've ever been excited about. Now, X1 is the excitement for me. So the idea of getting a console before me just drives me absolutely batshit, and I says, as bad as it would be, if her console came first, I would open it and steal it. Flat out, I will do that. And Joe was kind of shocked at me. I'm like, but at least I know I've got a problem. I'll admit that's a terrible thing for me to do, but I will do it. So she was trying to get hers from Amazon, I was getting mine from Shop2. There was the panic, whose would come first, and I was like, I'll even pay you not to get it from Amazon. But luckily enough, Shop2 then turned around and said they was going to do, and they did this thing which I think is incredibly good of them. They actually managed to get another shipment of the Forza games and says they're going to release them, so obviously you can go in there and pre-order one. But they said it's unfair that obviously this email is going to go out across to everybody and everyone's quickly going to jump on it, and some people may be on a bus, a train, at work, on the toilet, and they might not be able to jump on this offer. So they said they're going to do it in waves. There's going to be one release at 7 o'clock, another one at 10 o'clock, and another one at 10 o'clock in the morning. So it means if you miss the first wave, you might be able to get on the second one, which, great for you, Shop2. That's a good tactic. But because I just couldn't wait, me and Joe sat there F5 in the website just to make sure we got this order, and the website went down in 45 minutes. I'm panicking, but the end result is we both now have an Xbox One with Forza. So I'm a very excited man, and back to what the story was originally about, that's absolutely brilliant of you, Microsoft, giving us the option to have Forza. The next thing that's exciting me again about the Xbox is that Albert Penello has actually turned around and says they're actually thinking of going back to the idea of the family sharing. Now originally when I was defending the X1, when the idea with the DRM was there and everyone was like, no, this is absolutely crazy. And yes, I can understand not being able to say with the games is terrible, but I obviously read into it and saw these great features such as be able to share digital content, sell it on, trade, things like that. And that's all Microsoft's fault for not actually telling us the positive things of the actual original idea and kind of just more talking about the bad stuff. But they've changed their plans and I'm happy with the way it's working. But I always thought I would have loved to them to actually put that feature out where I could buy a digital piece of content and actually share it with my friends. And if I'm actually bored of that game, allow me to trade it. Now Microsoft's turned around and says they're actually going to be looking at going back to doing this again now. So this still means obviously the current way that the Xbox works will always stand, but the point is they may introduce something in the future which means if you do purchase something digitally, you'll have the choice to be able to share it or trade it, which I think is absolutely brilliant. So the quicker you can do that, Microsoft, the better. So the other piece of Xbox information is we all know that obviously the Xbox is going to come with 500GB and that should be plenty to start off with, but at one point we'll end up filling that hard drive and obviously we have USB 3.0 support to be able to plug into an external hard drive. But it's come out this week that that will not be there from the get-go, simply meaning that if you have got a big fat dirty hard drive and you want to plug it into your Xbox, you can't. But they simply back this up with saying that the development team are too busy working on other projects than to actually try and go to this, because to be fair, it doesn't need to be there on day one. And I think 500GB will probably support me for at least a year. But then again, we'll soon see when it comes down to installing all these big Blu-ray size discs onto a hard drive. But again, sooner the better, Microsoft. And the last piece of information is something that's actually got me quite excited. Now, I've always said that I prefer consoles than I do PC, and there is the PC Master Superior race out there, and kudos to all you guys. But the reason I cannot get on board with PC is because right underneath this camera is my desk, this is my office, and this is how I make my income. So I can sit up here up to 12 hours at a time working and doing web design, and when I want to sit back and chill, I don't want to do it in the same chair, on the same desk, on the same PC. So that's, for me, why PC gaming is dead for me. I just need to get out of this office and go downstairs and sit in a chair and enjoy the television. So that's why I don't enjoy PC gaming that much. But the one thing I have to say that PC gaming has on consoles is the beautiful mod community. Now, if you've ever seen things like Grand Theft Auto and Skyrim, the list is too long to go on, but the point is the mods that are out on the PC are amazing, and consoles never ever get to see that joy. But with the Xbox One actually being a development kit as well, it's actually come out now that people can create mods on the actual Xbox One and will be able to share the mods. But obviously, to do so, they'll need to get the inside information of the workings of some games. So Microsoft turned around and says the option is going to be the developers will be able to say yes and no to if you can actually have mods. Now, from the get-go, I don't think many people are going to jump on and go, yeah, there's that code, just go tinker, make some stuff. But I love the idea that it's there in place. If somebody is willing to say, yes, you're allowed to mod this game, means that the actual community can go and create some wonderful mods and actually start to put them out. Which I think is great because, as I said, PC is amazing for that, and I don't think the console will ever catch up to the speed of the PC, but it's a good step in the right direction. Now, there is one developer in particular that I think they should make the game open to people to mod, and that is Minecraft. Now, Minecraft obviously is a gigantic, ridiculously huge success on every single platform, telephone, PC, console, everything is Minecraft. But the point is, when I was on the PC, I could just enjoy putting in mods, putting in skins and do what I want. Whereas the console, I get charged for it. So obviously, Mojang actually go out and say, here's some skins and can we have some money? I'm like, it's a skin. It's like a couple of pixels big and you charge me for it. So I've never actually been and purchased a skin pack for Minecraft because I think it's ludicrous the amount that they charge for as little work what they do on it. And this week we've actually seen the Mass Effect skin pack come out, which is not just skin pack, sorry, it's skin pack, it's music, it's the actual skins, the actual blocks. So yes, there's a bit more work gone into this one, but again, I'm not dropping £3 just for some skins. So I would love to see them turn around and go, we're going to open it, so we're going to let people go in and actually create skins themselves and share them with the other users, because I think that would make Minecraft, I'm not going to say it's stale or it's slowing down, because the Minecraft buzz it's been here forever. Since day one, it's just been getting more and more crazier. But I think that's the injection they need on the console side to actually say, now you can actually do your own stuff, because it will get so many people on board on it again. And while we're on the idea of modding, now this is something that I actually saw on the internet today and I was like, this is amazing and needs to either A, be produced by Rockstar, or B, someone needs to mod the hell out of the game and produce this for Rockstar. And it is Grand Theft Auto Breaking Bad. So I'll put some screenshots up there which will just make you go, yes, I need this! Because I am a massive Grand Theft Auto fan and I am a massive Breaking Bad fan. So just combine them two. I'll throw my money at the screen. Just please make this a reality. So, I'm coming to the end of me honey monster. I am sweating profusely now. I have to apologise. I keep saying it's these lights, but seriously, the heat here in the UK is just disgusting. And I am actually looking forward to winter now. So, that's going to leave us with the question of the week, which this week is from Jordan Appleby. And you might have said last week, you said Jordan Appleby. I did. I got the names, wires crossed and everything. So, Jordan Appleby is simply asked, which is the best game of the 360, the PlayStation, and the Wii generation? Now, when it comes down to Wii, I've played quite a lot of Wii, especially in the early days, but I can never remember a game that popped out and went, this is amazing, apart from Boy and His Blob. Now, that's a game that I played, and it's one of them ones that I really enjoy because it looks like it's aimed at kids, it's very cutesy, but it's also ridiculously hard, just like it used to be back in the days, and I just really enjoyed it because it looked kind of old, but also looked kind of fresh and new, but at the same time played hard like the old ones, and I just enjoyed every bit of it, so Boy and the Blob would be the answer. For PlayStation 3, I've not done that much on it. I went and brought it originally to play things like Heavy Rain, which I did enjoy, but I have to say the best game I actually played on the PlayStation 3 has to be Uncharted 2. Now, I love 1, I also love 3, but it's just the part with the ice monsters and everything in number 2 is just... And as for the Xbox, I don't know how to answer it, so I'm just going to bottle out and just go Witcher 2. So, yep, that's the question of the week, guys. Which is your best Wii, PlayStation, and Xbox game? So, that's me done and dusted, guys. I'm going to get this edited, and then I'm going to get all my gear packed up because I am off on the road tomorrow to do some filming for my other channel, We Try Before We Die. And this week we're actually going to be skydiving, but indoors because it's a bit safer. I don't know why I even said that. I don't care about the safety. It's just more expensive to jump out of a plane. So we're going to one of them places that have a ridiculously giant fan and we're going to float on top of it. Or as I like to call it, we're going to get blown. So I'll be doing that this weekend. I shall edit it up and hopefully get it online sometime this week. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a great weekend and cheers. Bye.